Hello everyone, Oceanus here, and today I have some brand new news that came out about Modern Warfare 4 coming October 23rd. As it stands right now, DMZ 2 is not happening. And this is because it is just DMZ. The DMZ in Modern Warfare 2 was just a beta. As they've announced today from the community manager, it's not DMZ 2. It's not DMZ 2.0, it's just DMZ. And we also have a brand new intel post about it. So, deploy into Hajin, a sprawling exclusion zone forged by the aftermath of the Modern Warfare 4 campaign. Every operation of its exploration admits the struggle to survive against the ever-present risk of escalation. A living combat world, DMZ combines narrative story-driven missions, dynamic operations, player-driven encounters, and match-to-match progression inside a volatile battleground where every deployment matters. Now here we have the overview. A high-stakes, action-packed extraction shooter. DMZ is Call of Duty's definitive extraction shooter, a living world with unpredictable enemy encounters, weather, and objectives, all brought together by meaningful match-to-match progression inventory systems. Whether you plan to infill solo or with a squad, this volatile conflict zone offers numerous paths to choose from. We also have a nice little icon here, not icon, photo. That reminds me of a mix of the Cat AMR and one of the kind of Russian guns from Modern Warfare 2. No idea which one it is right now. But also looks like it could be a mix with the Barrett M82. But we shall see. Now, after experimenting and getting player feedback from the original DMZ beta, again, beta, Modern Warfare 4 evolves the extraction shooter into a deeper, more cohesive and more persistent combat experience shaped by what resonated most with players. Set in the Hajin exclusion zone and tied directly to the events of the campaign, players deploy into a volatile exclusion zone, choosing how to survive, whether pushing deeper into dangerous territory for greater rewards, hunting high-value targets, defending against escalating enemy threats, completing story missions, or extracting before the situation becomes untenable. Now, the DMZ setting into the exclusion zone. Summary: enter a contested exclusion zone as an off-the-books asset tasked with securing advanced military technology before it falls into hostile hands. And here we have a nice little look at a gas mask. It looks like, I want to say the S10 or the FM12. I'll just say both. Keep it simple. The difference between the two is one spoke is here and one spoke's here, here, and here, and the other is like this. I believe this might be the FM12, just going by the little bulge there and the little notch there, which indicates a water tank tube. I should know. I have one. As you can see, I do not bluff. As you can see, this is the FM12. You can see it has this little bulge I mentioned, and it has this little notch just here, somewhere. But it also has this. And that, what that does, is that kind of twists the feeding tube on the inside for water, and that can attach. What that does is you take this out from the mask and you link that to your water tank, so that you don't need to take off your mask to drink water in high volatile situations. Now, obviously it's a bit harder to hear me even with this on. So we take them off. Now, as I was saying, you see the spokes here. You've got one at the top, one and two at the bottom. Other way around, which means that is an S10 gas mask. It's also an older style because in the FM12, the notch is up here, S10 it's down here, which you can see the difference on that mask. And you can see it's same size for the gas filter as well. And you can see it's got the same actual filter system. And here we can see a little bit of lighter colour on the inside, just about, I think. You can also see that same lighter colour in the bottom left of that one. Now, obviously this side's blocked off, same as on that one, but it's also got a flash hood over it. Now that I do not have yet. I'll be getting a flash hood in the future, and I also have these protective lenses, but on a different mask. That there is my friend's. My one's in storage, so I had to use that one as an example. But all the difference is my one's slightly bigger. Sounds like a flex. It's not. It's just his heads are smaller. You know, people are different. No, take it weird for those who will take it weird. Anyway. Following the events of the Modern Warfare 4 campaign, an exclusion zone across the Korean peninsula remains saturated with abandoned military technology, weapon stockpiles and destabilizing threats. Operating as a shadow CIA asset, you are deployed behind enemy lines and tasked with securing the various weapons and technology left behind before they fall into enemy hands. Both rogue operators and enemy combatants are active throughout the zone, forcing every squad to decide when to cooperate, when to engage, and when to disappear before tensions escalate. Loot, fight, negotiate, betray, and extract whatever you can carry. Hajin, the new frontline. Hajin is a dense exclusion zone built around exploration, discovery, and high-risk player-driven operations, where environmental storytelling and hidden discoveries reward players willing to push deeper into the unknown. Nestled within a tri-point region bordering Russia and the Korean peninsula, Hajin is a contested exclusion zone where rival forces battle for control of abandoned military technology and strategic assets left behind after the events of the Modern Warfare 4 campaign. The atmosphere within the Hajin exclusion zone shifts can change based on environmental effects, creating new opportunities and challenges on every run. Sudden downpours can reduce visibility and force operators to adapt how they explore, move and engage, while dense fog, banks and overcast skies transform familiar routes into tense navigational gambles. Scarred by radiation, mass evacuation and the collapse of civilian infrastructure, the region is one of the largest and most ambitious Call of Duty environments ever built, designed around exploration, environmental storytelling and high-risk operations. From the irradiated fallout reactor in the highly secured prison complex to the remains of Hajin Sea and the heavily defended military base, every region inside the border area and exclusion zone offers different combat opportunities, sealed or secret areas waiting to be discovered, traversal challenges and points of interest with unexpected entrances accessible only via water, and other operational risks. Players willing to push deeper into the unknown can uncover hidden mysteries, pursue high-value gear, and engage in increasingly dangerous missions with greater risks and rewards. Story missions. Continue the Modern Warfare 4 story through narrative-driven story missions built for replayability, squad-based action, and evolving storytelling. We've got another little image here. It looks like typical Russian-style gear, but no, that's why. It is the American-style S10, but it's got a massive tube, which is reminiscent of Russian gear. That's cool. Oh, and you can even see the water tank pipe that I was talking about. And look, zoom in. You can literally see the. It's not actually got it attached. He's not actually got it attached. It's here, and as you can see, look that line on the. It's because they're down there in the originals. But yeah. What that means is someone either fucked up or that's not the water pipe. It actually does look a lot thicker than the water pipe. I'll give it that. Okay, so hopefully that's not a fuck up. Now, a collection of story missions expands the narrative of Modern Warfare 4 and features unique objectives, high-stakes action, and gameplay scenarios unfolding inside specific points of interest across Hajin, all within a live DMZ server populated by other operators pursuing their own missions. Built for squads and solo players with replayability in mind, story missions push the broader DMZ narrative forward through new discoveries and fresh challenges over time. Operations, dynamic operations, side ops, and free roam. Take on operations featuring evolving scenarios, escalating threats, and climactic moments unique to every match. Before deployment, your objectives in DMZ are clearly defined. A focus on story missions, engaging in dynamic operations, and free explorations across Hajin. But no plan is guaranteed to last. The unpredictable nature of DMZ often demands quick adjustments as situations evolve in the field. Whether you decide to stay covert or bring the fight directly to your enemies, every match is an opportunity to push deep into Hajin, uncover valuable intel and hidden secrets, and hunt down rogue enemy operators to build your infamy. Dynamic operations are multi-step objectives generated for each match and designed to create focused tasks from neutralizing abandoned weapons programs and securing critical assets to high-risk rescue operations and assaults against hostile forces. Every operation in this extraction shooter is built around escalating tension, replayability, and large-scale moments capable of impacting activity across the wider region. As you can see here, we've got a nice little integrally suppressed sniper or marksman. We've got a it looks like a Tavor, like Israeli weapon. Wait, no, that's reminiscent of the Kilo, which means that is likely the HK 436, I believe, or 437, the new version, because we had the HK 433 in Modern Warfare 2019. I think this is now the next step up. There's also Velikan in the back. Now people be like, oh wow, see, they're going crazy. That's a motorbike helmet. That's a motorbike helmet with some paint on it. We're not going crazy. Newer skins, they're still staying grounded. You can see he's got military gear on. He's just using a motorcycle helmet because he's a bit weird. Look at Ghost. He wears a skull mask. Can we really judge Velikan? Even a seemingly routine task can lead to intriguing exploration. Side ops are available and include activities like locating trucks across Hajin at advantageous functionality once they're repaired, locating lost supply drops, or scaling damaged radio towers. There's the freedom to explore like never before, where it takes a gas mask and gumption to find loot only available in this point of interest. Oh wait, no, I accidentally skipped. Yeah, there's freedom to explore like never before, even into sectors of extreme danger like the area of heavy fallout in the eastern part of the map, where it takes a gas mask and gumption to find loot only available in this point of interest. Beyond these operations, Hajin supports free roaming exploration for players who want to forge their own path, preserving the open-ended freedom that defines the DMZ experience. Whether hunting rival operators, scavenging for resources, hunting down dangerous lieutenants, accessing phones to initiate dynamic operations, commandeering a derelict casino while attempting to break into the vault without attracting a rival squad's attention, or simply surviving long enough to extract, these side tasks add a wealth of unpredictability and player choice. Now, DMZ, a living world. Now, before we move into a living world, you may have noticed my voice sounds a bit, harsher because of how long I've been talking. Now, I'm happy to announce that today a while back I made a partnership with DMZ.gg, and they have graciously sent me out a shaker, blue raspberry, Japanese yuzu, and tiger's blood. These obviously I did buy, but what they sent me for absolutely free was a random tub, and they picked out the mystery flavour. I've heard good things about this one. Apparently it tastes like cherry, and I really love cherry. Now, they've got a whole wealth of flavours, obviously, but I just thought I'd mention that while it's here, because I will be using them later today. For now, I'll get water, because water is good. But if you need the energy, use code Oceanus at DMZ.gg to get 10% off your order. Okay, so We are back reading A Living World, and as you can tell from the gas mask, I don't bluff. I now have my W shaker with water in. Just water, because I'm not gaming right now. I've not long got up. I got up like 3 hours ago. I do not need the energy yet. Later on, maybe. Now, players decide how to approach Hajin. Oh wait, we've got another image. I'm an idiot. I'll deal with that later. You know, we've got some AK here. Well, not literally an AK. It's a Kastov 7.62, I believe. And we've got some form of LMG here. Nice. A lot more Russian base, as you can tell. And as we know, it does border Russia, so there will likely be some Russian soldiers. Also a ghillie suit. I didn't see that there at first. Now, players decide how to approach Hajin, moving low and slow through hostile territory, risking everything with an aggressive assault, or something in between. While dynamic world systems respond to every action, vehicle convoys move across the roadways. Air traffic fills the skies, while hostile forces constantly reposition WMDs and strategic assets. With enemy factions and rival human squads battling for control of key locations, every operation can evolve in unexpected ways. Hajin represents an extreme opportunity for exploration. DMZ also benefits from the advancements in movement and combat systems introduced in Modern Warfare 4, including enhanced traversal options like climbing pipes and navigating environmental obstacles with fluidity, alongside refined weapon handling, ballistic authority, and other mechanics that carry across the broader game experience. Emergent enemies. Improved AI combatants allow for larger combat spaces with coordinated enemy squads, reactive combat behaviours, and more dynamic infantry and vehicle encounters. You know, we've got two Russians here, we've got some Russian lettering, and we've got an RPG out right here. We've got an RPG. Now, can't tell who we're with, but they've got English writing on them, so likely NATO. Modern Warfare 4 brings a new level combat density beyond anything seen in Call of Duty before. Hostiles throughout the exclusion zone are guarding key areas, travelling in convoys, flying in choppers and moving in large squads. New squad generation systems help AI adversaries move beyond individual enemy behaviour, with units that coordinate, navigate, react and pressure players more convincingly. Approach lone AI enemies and expect them to take cover and hold position, freeze or try to break your line of sight. Combined with advances in game engine physics and squad/vehicle interactions, these systems make combat feel more active and unpredictable, opening the door to new forms of emergent gameplay. Holy. Escalating threats. Escalating threat levels trigger stronger enemy responses, increasingly dangerous reinforcements, and elite forces sent to hunt players down. We've got a ghillie team, with specifically Golani, enemy lieutenant, wearing a deer skull. And you guys call Ghost weird for a fake skull. He's got a fucking deer skull on. Or even some other animal, actually. It's got fangs. But also, again, another look at this suppressed, integrally suppressed rifle. Me likey. Hostile threats across Hajin range from ruthless lieutenants leading specialised units to roaming commander enemies that include tanks, drone swarms, Deathstalker helicopters, juggernauts and elite strike teams. The DMZ threat system tracks players' activity and escalates enemy responses as operators attract increasing attention inside the region. As threat levels rise, enemy forces mobilise to reassert control, deploying increasingly dangerous reinforcements to hunt players down. These forces include attack helicopters, more dangerous and heavily armed troops, and eventually enemy Deathstalkers being dispatched to chase you down. Survival depends on more than firepower alone. Success comes from strategy, adaptability, and controlling the pace of combat before the engagement spirals out of control. One of these ways is using the stealth meter, a system that assists solo players particularly well as it helps you control combat when facing AI enemies. If you're close to being spotted by AI adversaries, expect an audio cue and an indicator on your HUD that changes from white to yellow to orange. Hit the deck or get back into cover to prevent the observant hostile from being alerted. Now we move on to my favourite part of this, the FOB. I've heard a really small inkling about this, and this is what extraction shooters always need. The DMZ1 wasn't great because it didn't have a hideout or stash or anything really. You just had a few weapons, that was it. And then later on they brought in upgradability later on. By that point the mode was dead, sadly. It was full of people doing player death squads. Not fun. Forward operating base, a hub between operations. Your FOB can be upgraded to unlock new services, expand operational capabilities, and prepare your squad for future deployments. Before and after every extraction operation inside the DMZ, players return to their forward operating base, a central hub built around preparation, progression, and long-term squad support. The FOB gives players access to key operational services, including the 3D printer crafting station, the stash where inventory items can be stored deployment to deployment, weapon purchasing, a firing range, bounty boards, and additional upgrade systems that unlock over time. It also serves as a staging ground and social hub where squad members can regroup, rearm, inspect the operators, assist with onboarding newer players, and prepare before deployment. So it sounds like we've got the World War II HQ back, because it's a social hub. As players earn XP, complete missions, progress through the trait system, gaining reputation and skill set of an elite tier 1 operator over time, which includes the special air service no matter what the America says in real life. The forward operating base evolves alongside you, unlocking new functionality while visually transforming to better support your growing capabilities. A tour of your forward operating base. The FOB is the operational backbone of DMZ. Access the following via the physical FOB spaces and streamlined menu navigation. Note that imagery of the FOB will be unveiled at a later date. Orders and objectives. Track your active missions, review completed objectives, check available completion rewards, and plan future operations before heading back into the field. Stash and loadout. Between deployments, players can manage a persistent inventory containing weapons, equipment, consumables, valuables, and special items. Gear can be organised between your stash and your active duty operator's backpack and loadout. Each active duty operator has their own backpack and loadout. The stash size can also be upgraded by ranking up in DMZ. Operators looking to infill immediately can choose a free loadout containing combat essentials. Again, a bit like Arc Raiders there, which is a good thing, because Arc Raiders did extraction really well. It overtook Tarkov. Tarkov was one of the only extraction shooters for the longest time, and Arc Raiders took it out of the water. Wallet. Use in-game important to specify in-game cash primarily to purchase weapons and gunsmithing attachments, as well as rescuing MIA operators, paying for lieutenant intel, and much more. Complete missions and ops is the primary source of cash, wired directly to the wallet in the FOB. Expenditure of funds is a key consideration in DMZ, and players may wish to employ an active duty operator as a cash mule with particular skills when breaking into vaults, defeating HBTs or other bounty tagged human prey, or completing dynamic ops to earn cash. That is interesting. Bounty tagged human prey. What do you mean by that? What else is there? 3D printer. Gather resources throughout Hajin and return them to the FOB's crafting station. As a general rule, the 3D printer is capable of manufacturing a vast array of functional equipment and support gear, with a detailed list later in this blog. Excluding primary, secondary, and melee weaponry. Recipes unlock the ability to use component resources to craft a wide variety of gear, items like night vision goggles, ballistic vests, backpacks, consumables, kill streaks, and other specialised equipment. Gunsmith. Weapons and related attachments are purchased using cash in Gunsmith, in-game cash. The more effective the weapon or attachment, the more expensive they are. As you progress through mission orders and extract weapon manuals from Hajin, the option of purchasing the weapons directly becomes available, but initially you'll have to rely on weapons scavenged during deployments. You can use cash to modify weapons with attachments you've unlocked, including Apex attachments, but each one has a cost. Suppressors, extended mags, powerful optics, and more all cost extra for the added effectiveness. The Gunsmith allows you to add up to 5 attachments to a weapon, along with an Apex attachment. However, 8 attachment weapons have been confirmed within Hajin. Weapon progression tracks across multiplayer and DMZ. as expected. Weapon vendor. DMZ operators with enough in-game cash can purchase additional specialised weaponry from the FOB's military supplier. These weapons are added directly to your stash. The selection is limited and rotating, refreshing after a period of real time has occurred. If you're after a professionally built armament and don't have the time to extract or purchase a gun and modify it, or use a gunsmith, then this is an excellent option. Weapon vendor firearms can be adjusted just like scavenged or purchased weapons, and don't negatively affect your looting or progression. Firing range, first person. Located adjacent to the gunsmith and vendor, the firing range allows operators to test primary and secondary weapon builds in a dedicated first-person training environment. Active duty operators. Manage your available operators, including those awaiting recovery after failed expels. Each operator maintains their own persistent backpack, persistent loadout, and persistent trait tree. This mission readiness allows players to prepare specialised kits for different deployment styles. Operator traits, see below, can also be managed here. Boss board. Review the latest intel on hostile lieutenants, LTs, high-ranking enemy targets operating throughout Hajin before you drop into a match and attempt to neutralise his targets. Here you can pay for intel related to a particular lieutenant that allows you to pinpoint their location more accurately, and reach them before your rivals do. Or climb hunt towers across Hajin, accessing the terminal to receive intel on the closest lieutenant to your location. Slay a lieutenant and they drop a set of dog tags. Lieutenant's dog tags. Exfilling with these spoils of combat helps populate your boss board and is helpful to your continued success as an LT killer. However, they are equally valuable to enemy squads, who can track you via any lieutenant's dog tags you've acquired during a match. Expect fierce resistance from rival teams attempting to appropriate your LT's dog tags, usually at hot expo points, so they can populate their own boss board. Bounty leaderboard. Monitor the most dangerous rival players currently operating inside the exclusion zone. And deploy. Before deploying into the dynamic operations or free roam, your squad can choose how to infill with the paid infill system, going quiet on foot, or fast and loud in a helicopter or large plane. Do you have the need for a vehicle dropped with you? The game has got you covered. Okay. Now we move on to active duty operators. Recruit and customize a roster of specialized operators while earning progression through every operation inside the DMZ. We've seen this image before, but I'm just give a little refresher. Nice little SMG there. Nope, that's an AR or carbine. A longer marksman or rifle with a or assault rifle with a suppressor. And same here, an AR with a suppressor. DMZ features a dedicated progression system built around the persistent inventory and long-term operator growth. Within the FOB's active duty menu, players can create multiple operators. The active duty slot system returns from DMZ beta, with each operator owning a backpack and loadout persistent through multiple deployments, and customize them throughout the trait system, assembling a roster of professional recruits suited for different mission types and playstyles. The more players accomplish during an operation, the more XP and progression rewards they earn, encouraging more risk-taking and deeper exploration. These multiple layers of progression provide a deep and rewarding experience. Global player and DMZ experience. Story missions, dynamic operators, and side ops are all excellent methods of obtaining XP, along with additional activities and enemy takedowns. This is irrespective of whether you successfully exfilled or not. There are no XP penalties for dying during a match. DMZ XP. All XP earned at DMZ upgrades your FOB, unlocks new stations in your FOB, and ranks up your operator. This allows you to unlock game-changing traits to customize your playstyle. And now, here we go. The Trait Operator Progression System. Within the active duty system of the FOB, players can spend earned trait points on individual operators to improve their effectiveness across a variety of disciplines, utilizing them from a roster of persistent characters. Earn trait points during missions and invest them into one of 3 trait trees, each leaning into a different skill set related to combat, scavenging, and other capabilities. Points are tied to the operator who earned them. Unlock traits along with passive benefits that allow you the freedom to specialize individual operators for specific roles, including proficiency in PvP engagements, infiltration, looting, recoveries, or as a cash meal. PvP engagements. Make them better for that, what? Looting. Supplies where they should be. Search for weapons, equipment, and crafted materials placed naturally throughout the region based on location and strategic value. Got a nice little thing here. There's an AR, an M4 most likely. Maybe with an M16 more build. No idea, but it's got the same sort of thing here. Maybe the same. And then you've got one guy scavenging and a killed operator here. Looks like Barrage from MW3, the same guy we've seen above a few times. Looting is a core part of progression in DMZ, built around meaningful resource gathering that rewards players who learn the region. Study the map and understand where valuable resources might be found. Finding unique ingredients in Hajin becomes a major focus, especially as you learn recipes, combinations of ingredients allowing the creation of better gear. Hunting for rare ingredients that build more powerful equipment like printing kill streaks, improved plate carriers or backpack types, and searching for recipes that upgrade your 3D printer to enable you to print even more potent items results in a much more meaningful looting experience. Supplies and loot are primarily distributed in ways that feel grounded and logical within the world itself, encouraging smart exploration and decision making. Police stations contain combat gear and tactical equipment. Hospitals may have scarce medical supplies. Residential districts offer valuable crafting resources and scavenged materials. Designed to minimize inventory friction and keep players focused on the action, the looting system emphasizes player agency, preparation, and risk versus reward. Crafting. Build the gear you need. Gather resources throughout Hajin and use the upgraded 3D printer system to craft equipment, weapons, and high-end gear. And here we have another little guy. Again, S10. Oh, it's actually the same outfit we saw earlier. It was a 12. And he's got some kind of kill streak on, by the looks of it. Crafting gives players greater control over how they prepare for future operations by transforming recovered resources into valuable equipment and combat-ready tools. Materials are disassembled automatically during a mission so players can stay focused on the action. While inventory management is easy to navigate, extracted loot can be used back at your FOB within an intuitive crafting system built around a powerful upgradable 3D printer capable of unlocking increasingly advanced crafting options, allowing players to manufacture equipment and rare gear. The categories of gear you can 3D print are as follows. Here are the categories of gear. Gear. Tactical equipment such as MBGs and parachutes. Backpacks. Packs of varying sizes and specializations carried into a match. Plate carriers. Craft different types of armor vests. Tacticals. Stock up on strategic, non-lethal equipment. Lethals. Assemble offensive equipment designed to damage or eliminate threats. Consumables. Beneficial items from painkillers to radiation blockers. Field upgrades. Abilities providing tactical support or intelligence. Unlike multiplayer, field upgrades in DMZ do not recharge. Fire support items. Deployable offensive killstreak support. Tracked recipes. A series of tagged recipes you're on the hunt for. Special items. A wide variety of items used for a wide variety of purposes. How vague. Okay. The deeper players push into the region, the more opportunities they uncover to secure rarer resources needed to support stronger loadouts and specialized playstyles. Weapon conditions and variants. Equipment shaped by conflict. Recover damaged weapons and rarer enemy variants shaped by the harsh realities of the exclusion zone. After combat, players can scavenge for dropped armaments, many with damaged optics, broken attachments, unstable weapon components, and improvised field repairs that affect both appearance and handling. High-value lieutenants also carry uniquely customized weapons featuring attachments and camouflage finishes. Recovery features. Extract or die trying. Failed extractions carry real consequences, but recovery features ensure players can continue progressing and return to the fight. Though squads have multiple options to exfil from Hajin, from helicopters to skyhooks, not every deployment ends in success. When an operator is downed, they may be rescued, left to fend for themselves, or become lost in action. Fortunately, there are additional options. Okay, let's have a look at this skyhook though. I like skyhooks. Nice! Okay, they're all hooked up very, very nicely. And, oh, slightly damaged. But yeah, just looks pretty bog standard for what you'd expect from a skyhook, really. I mean, how else can they put you up? There's not really much they can do. Tourniquet. A new survival mechanic is the tourniquet, allowing you to heal to a wounded state if you don't have self-revive equipped. You won't last long after a tourniquet application, so you'll need to apply additional medical items to reach full health. I'm guessing you still slowly bleed out. Maybe. I don't know. It depends if you heal automatically afterwards, or not. MIA system. For those lost in action, the new MIA system allows players to expend in-game cash at the FOB and deploy rescue teams to recover them and continue their progression without starting from scratch. DMZ is designed to preserve the tension and high-stakes risk that define extraction shooter gameplay while remaining a little more forgiving than traditional extraction experiences. It is COD after all. It's casual. Every infill is still a gamble, with valuable rewards, equipment and resources on the line until you successfully extract. While failed operations carry meaningful setbacks, players continue earning XP, unlocking rewards and traits, and advancing long-term progression. Every deployment moves you forward, but greater success still demands a skill and tactical judgment. And now, into PvP, which a lot of people are excited for. I'm less so, but that's because people act like cunts in this, and just... That's also kind of tarnished by the fact of when people got bored, they would just go into DMZ just to specifically stop people from progressing their own missions and stuff, which I did not like that. Go to, like, hardcore multiplayer if you want that sort of shit. But doing it specifically to fuck people's progression is fucked. Take down rival operators, build notoriety, and climb the bounty leaderboard as the hunt escalates. Hunter or hunter-killer? Let's have a look at this. Nice, I've got some kind of server room. Dead teammate, and he's shooting off these guys that are coming after him. Not much more to say. The hostile forces occupying Hajin are dangerous enough, but they're not the only threat in the exclusion zone. Other squads or solo players are also deploying in the Hajin, adding an unpredictable human element to every operation as players compete for valuable objectives and extraction opportunities. Every encounter carries uncertainty, forcing squads to decide whether to engage. For players who thrive on competition, DMZ's bounty system turns every engagement with rival operators into a risk versus reward decision. Hunting other players raises your notoriety and puts a price on your head, making you more visible and easier to track. As a player's notoriety grows, successful hunters can become some of the most dangerous targets inside Hajin. Earn a place on the infamous bounty leaderboard by becoming a notorious killer or a bounty hunter. Secure rival dog tags and successfully extract for substantial payouts, along with serious bragging rights. Every operator eliminated raises both the rewards and the dangers of operating inside Hajin, though hunting bounty targets can lessen the target on your own back. Proximity chat. In these high tense situations where life and death hang in the balance, you'll need to stay frosty and employ vocal communication to end an engagement either peacefully or with a satisfactory kill. With an upgraded engine comes a revamped proximity chat, allowing you to listen to, or mute, rival operators within the vicinity of you or your squad, along with the following improvements. Distance-based vocal fall-off. Expect to find it easier to hear rival enemies the closer they are to you. Directionality. Pinpoint and chatter more precisely depending on the direction your foe is approaching from. Environmental voice reverb. The type of interior structure or exterior topography affects the reverberations of echoes of incoming comms, perhaps giving clues to whereabouts. See you in Hajin. Built on the same foundation powering Modern Warfare 4 multiplayer, including refined and fluid movement across maps, and expanded equipment and full complement of weaponry, enhanced gunplay and ballistic authority, DMZ brings the full breadth of Call of Duty combat into a persistent extraction experience. Stay frosty. Additional intel incoming. Track the latest official Modern Warfare 4 intel on the Call of Duty blog as we move towards additional information drops. The Modern Warfare 4 open beta and launch on October 23rd. For more information on DMZ, be sure to check out additional announcements at the Xbox Game Showcase, as well as the latest episode of the COD Pod, both on Sunday, June 7th. Expect further DMZ intel up in the weeks and months ahead. So, as you have it there's more fucking info for DMZ coming tomorrow, the 7th. Meaning, I've got to get all this information out tonight, ready for tomorrow. I've got a lot of editing work ahead of me. I have 40 minutes worth of footage to go through. Well, 40 minutes worth to upload to, to YouTube, and then I've got to get smaller versions out for YouTube Shorts, So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on my next video about this tomorrow. Stay frosty, yeah.